All right, guys, let's go. Next map. Haas is in the bottom right of Berlingrad. A step back from the weird into one of our new maps in the map pool. In the left, it is Bly. Now, Bly has not killed his dog. Haas has not killed his dog either. And Bly does have a point. Thank you, Dot. Dot pointing out that my scoreboard wasn't updated. So the doggos are here, guys. Now, I'm surprised. I still have not seen a single pro gamer take the time to spam click on that dog. That dog can block buildings. The dog can block you guys. I had a Roomba on one of the maps block an auto turret today in a fight, which I was 100% losing against Beyond anyway, and was going to get my ass kicked. But I would have liked to drop that auto turret where I wanted to, and it wouldn't let me because there was a Roomba there. So I'm just saying, if you guys like me get triggered by the critters, if you spam left click on them, they will explode. So make sure you remember that. Works on any map in just about any Blizzard game. Warcraft 3, Warcraft 2, etc. My favorite is, of course, the pigs in Warcraft 2, and they're kind of, they're like squeals they start making where they sound very concerned right before they explode. There's something oddly satisfying about it. Anyways, it looks like a pretty standard opening for Bly and a pretty standard opening for Haas. Well, we saw how game 1 went after they did that as well, right? So Haas does like getting a Void Ray early, but he has about 1,000 transitions from there. Remember game 1, he went a Void Ray. He didn't build much out of the air. Sentry and Forge! Oh, it's the Haas style. Okay, so for those who don't know, this is Haas style PVZ. He likes doing this build off a Cannon Rush, but if he doesn't open with a Cannon Rush and he still wants to do it, he just hides his Forge in the back, and he's just going to go +1 attack, probably +2 attack. Sometimes he gets armor. And he's just going to build a few sentries, take a third, and then he's just going to play some version of Immortal Charge Lot with really sick upgrades. And he could go really hard, aggressive, and feint, and then recall an army home. But the whole idea is it kind of looks like he's about to attack you at any moment. And oh no! Sentry fails at its job. Bly knows exactly what he's up against. Now, Bly has lost a bunch of games to this style against Haas because he gets too afraid after seeing what's going on. And he's already going for a Roach Warren. That's a super early Roach Warren. Makes us think Bly was thinking about cheesing. I think he should maybe let the Roach Warren finish, but he should be droning really hard. So the trick against this style is usually to go mega greedy early, because he kind of pretends he's going to push you, and often you're like, oh, there's like a Robo or there's an early Twilight. But if he's upgrading, you know he's not going to do a committed attack for a long time. Now, that's where my mind goes. You got to get 50, 55 drones up before you build any defensive units, right? Bly's mind goes in the opposite direction and says, you're building a sentry or two, you're making an upgrade or two that you're not going to have many units with to actually benefit from it. You're then going to make probably a Twilight and a Robo and some gases. None of that is going to help you defend a Ravager Zergling all in. And you know what? He's absolutely right. Haas does not have a lot of scouting. He doesn't have a hallucination yet to scout across the map, which I'm pretty sure he will hallucinate. So you do have to be careful here as Bly. Bly's got to be a bit careful. Yeah, and he's like, and I know you're going to take a third. So he's going to send some Zerglings in. Now he's like, aha, look, my Zerglings. And this is bait. The Zerglings are basically twerking in the face of Haas, saying, please pull your army down here. Come on down. Come defend. Take your third base. He's like, it's just a pack of Zerglings. That's all it is. I definitely don't have a bunch of Ravagerling waiting for you to leave your base. Oh no, my Zerglings are very afraid of those big, strong Protoss units. You're so muscular, Mr. Protoss. Oh no. And the Zerglings are gonna dive into the base! He gets a surround on the sentry at the third. Zerglings are in the natural. The Ling Ravager dives in. Bly has baited him out there. He's tricked him. And that is the classic Zerg jailbait maneuver there. Those Zerglings just luring the Protoss into the open while 80% of the army is waiting to come in from the other side. That was brutal there for Bly. And Zealots, Stalkers coming on in. Ooh, the Biles are dodged by Haas. Zergling Ravager versus Zealot Probe. What wins? I can't say I see this battle too often. Apparently, Zealot Probe beats everything, guys. Protoss is a pretty strong race. Even their workers beat Zerglings and Ravagers. Oh my god. I think Bly's still winning, though. That's down to 22 workers. Bly has 3 bases. And he's still, if he can kill Haas's third, he should still be ahead here. But if he can't kill the third, things could get a bit dicey. Zerglings, though, good numbers still. Can't get in the natural, but he can surround these units. And he gets the Stalker. The Zealot's trying to pull back to the choke point where they can trade a bit more efficiently. One Zealot standing there strong in the choke point. And he's trying to have a good time there. The Zergling's going to try and lure him out into the open, but Bly is forced to drone. Haas hangs on. by a thread. He's on 27 workers. He's barely mining gas right now, which is wise. He just needs minerals to rebuild his probe count. Bly on the other side, he's got 43 workers. So he does have 3 queens injecting. He hasn't spread a single creep tumor, and I don't think he even is thinking about it. I think he's like, we don't need to reset to a normal game. I've already got some more roaches. I can mass more Roach Ravager Zergling whenever I feel like it. The only problem I have with Bly's setup is the lack of a lair. Means Roach speed is about 6 hours away from ever getting upgraded. And poking with this army is actually very dangerous because Zealots are way more mobile than slow Roach Zergling. So he could get jumped on here. Remember those force fields on Golden Wall, guys? I think Force Field Zealot is going to be a nightmare, a recurring nightmare of Bly after this series, to be honest. I really do feel that. And yeah, he throws away 5 roaches. Zerglings maybe get a bit of damage, but more Zealots can just warp in the choke points. So definitely feels like a bit of a waste losing 5 roaches like that. He's only got 7 roaches at home. There's 13 Zealots. Oh no. Bly's in trouble. Bly's in trouble. That's a very scary army. He needs to try and look for a surround on the Sentry Immortal with the Zealots, but he needs to try and get creep. He's trying to make a Baneling nest right now because he's so worried about those Zealots. He's trying to make Roach Baneling Zergling. Now, you might be like, isn't that a good composition? Ravagerling Bane? Yeah, when you have Bane speed, melee upgrades, and Roach speed. Not on Hatch Tech with no Roach speed, no Bane speed, no melee upgrades, no creep spread. It's a really janky composition, but, I mean, it will counter this army if he can get it up in time. Third base looking mighty exposed right now, but he's got 16 roaches, 18 zealots come in. Look at how quick the hatch goes down. Good Zerglings surround on the Immortal Sentry. The roaches are coming on in. That queen, oh, what a hero. She distracted a bunch of the zealots for a long time in that mineral line up in the top of our screen. She does go down, as do the drones, but the hatch survives, and that is the most important part. The hatchery surviving is very important. Now, the Warp Prism is going to be very annoying. Remember, no creep, few queens, very little mobility. The queens come up there to fight against that Warp Prism. They will be able to beat the Zealot, but they're going to need a lot of support to get up there. The roaches are going across the map for a counterattack. Zergling Queen, once again, not the best thing to fight Zealots with, but at least the Immortal doesn't get bonus damage versus any of this. One queen goes down. This queen is the last anti-air on this side of the map. The roaches are in the third. The third base has gone down for Bly, though. Bly Zerglings are getting overrun. Haas making this way harder for Bly than it should be. Oh my god, the Immortal Sentry holds the natural. No way. Okay, that's going to stall that attack out for a long time. Haas might be able to butcher the economy of Bly while that's happening. And if Haas can defend at home at all, he very well may have this game in the bag. Bly is not even attacking right now because he knows he needs to micro there. He's going to start working on those gateways. Back at home, drones are forced to fight Zealots. This is never a good situation. That one queen, the last anti-air, Bly's economy is gone. He's down to 25 workers. His Zerglings will barely hang on. His roaches know they've got to do damage. He gets an Immortal! And he's depowered the Robo. Big wins for Bly there as he forces Haas's probes off the line. Have you ever thought StarCraft was a gentleman's game with 2 men sipping tea across the battlefield and saluting each other? Haha! No, when these guys fight, they go to shake hands before the battle. Bly pulls out a knife and starts stabbing Haas. Little does he realize Haas has done the exact same move to him, and that's every single game they play. It's 2 dudes underhandedly stabbing each other with no breaks in the action. And honestly, at this point, there's 2 Immortals in a Warp Prism. I think Haas might have actually won this game. You cannot beat 2 Immortals in a Warp Prism with just Ling Roach and no upgrades. This is ridiculous. This is actually ridiculous. He's gonna make it happen. I cannot believe it. Bly did so well with his opening trick, got in a good position, but he just losing those roaches on the opposite side of the map and then not being and sending the roaches across to counterattack. Remember what I said earlier, his lair is nowhere near. Roach speed is miles away. And I think that's the big problem that Bly had, is he didn't go to lair, and he kind of was like, let's go kill him, let's go finish him. And trying to finish a man with Haas's micro and a 20 kill pair of Immortals, it's always a bit dicey, because now we've got a 3-base Protoss who's going to counterattack you. He has the best pieces in the game, the best tools, 2 Immortals and a Warp Prism. The thing every hatchery tech Zerg has nightmares about. If you don't have Vipers or Hydras or Broodlords or tons of Roaches with Roach speed yet, those 2 Immortals are a nightmare. And Bly here, he's going to try and jump on the Immortals to engage. Oh, he gets an Immortal! He gets the Prism! No way! Haas just shot the bed! Haas just shot the bed! He lost his Prism and both Immortals! No way! No way! Does it matter? He's killing enough. There's so many Zealots, it might not matter. It might not matter. Oh my god, he's using a Ravager Cocoon to try and block the ramp. These Zealots with +1 attack do so much damage. That Ravager biles its own corpse to try to defend this. I think Haas has it anyway, especially if Haas probes up behind this. And Bly is like, I think this is the time to drop his Spire. I'm going to win with the 4 Mutalisk transition, 13 minutes into the game. Haas, on the other hand, is like, it's cool, I'm just going to build another round of Immortal Zealot while probing up the 3rd base. It's impossible to predict anything when these two play, is it? Leads are just ephemeral things that just sometimes they just disappear like the fog when hit by direct sunlight, right? You know, it's a mist just clearing in the breeze. It really is something which just disappears, and I cannot believe Haas got back in this game after that situation he was in earlier. The Evo Chamber Roach Wall off, not going to buy enough time for the Mutaswap. And it was a very clever idea, right? Last ditch Mutaswap, but he doesn't quite get it. He needed another 45 seconds. Haas, though, knows there's things you might do to get back, but if I just put my weight on you right now with Zealot Immortal, you are not getting back into this game. And a very nice victory there for Haas, taking the 3-1 lead. Let's go into Sacred Spring, a map from days past, Heart of the Swarm, and one of the weirdest maps out there. Haas, Bly in the bottom left, Haas in the top right. Look at this main base, guys. Look at this main base. Have you seen? This is the old days. This is back where our boomer parents used to live, you know? Back when you could afford a quarter-acre lot yourself, live in a big house you'd buy for $40,000. You pay it off in your job working at the factory. You go into the back, you get a granny flat in the back of your base. Oh my god, what? You get a granny flat in the back? You could fit your son that never grows up and never gets a real job. He lives out there. He has his his man cave back there. Your 3rd base is miles away, out this ramp, all the way over there. And yes, there's a nice, beautiful, look at this. There's flowers, pathway. There's like a cavern through the middle, which you can break these rocks down and block the middle off, guys. You can block the middle off. Oh, well, if that's blocked off, can't you just go around the sides? Well, no, there's gold bases on the cliff, but there's no way across unless you break the rocks there, or the same on the other side down here. So this map is completely bananas. Both of them are going to expand. So Haas does get an expansion up very early. People in chat are pointing out that this is like Nidus heaven. Like, Jesus, look at this map. There are so many spots you could Nidus. This map is, there are a lot of things to take in all at once. For those of you just tuning in, both players, when I said, you guys okay with this map? They were like, question marks? And I was like, they're like, well, I don't know it. And I'm like, you guys were pro gamers when this was in the map pool. This was in Heart of the Swarm. It was in the map pool. Tournaments were played on it. They're like, never played it, don't remember it. And I'm like, what? And I was like, oh, actually, your opponents probably vetoed it unless you were in a grand finals during that season where you got to a game 7 where there's no vetoes, you know? You're like, oh, it's game 7. We have to play the most vetoed map in the entire map pool. So, this map was just absolutely insane. I can't wait to see what the players bring out. So far, pretty chill openings. This opening that's a very thick choke point, guys. That's a PvP wall. I don't think a Zealot or an Adept can wall that off. So, Haas, please don't just lose to some Zerglings running in your base. He's got to build a pylon there to create a proper choke point. I mean, maybe he's got that pixel perfect and it holds, but I feel like that's the sort of wall off where there is a very high chance of seeing those Zerglings walking. Oh, guys, he's doing the Immortal. He's just going to do an Immortal slow Zealot all in. He's fully pulled off gas. Look, he's mined 200 gas. He's going to make 2 Immortals. 100 gas. 1 Immortal in the Warp Prism, and he's just going to do slow Zealot Immortal again. Haas is like, look, when faced with complicated problems, often simple solutions are the best. And I told you guys. I told you that wasn't a wall. That's blatantly obvious that is not a wall off, Haas. Come on, mate. He drops the question marks in the chat. Zergling's going to be able to waltz on it, and they see what he's up to. He sees the gateway explosion. He doesn't see the robo, but I think he sees the prism now, so he knows about it. He gets a few probes. Not bad at all. Looks like I forgot to host this one on GameHeart. Sorry, guys. 3 probes were killed there. We got 2 spines going up in the main base. And he's building a Roach Warren. So it's going to be trying to defend on 2 base. Bly is going to try to break the rocks down. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, I think he can just warp everything in on the front anyway. Probably. Bly, he's going to break the rocks down. He says, no, 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 no. He's like, quick, collapse the bridge. Don't let him cross into our territory. And he does cut off the most direct path. And Haas is like, oh, are you serious? Damn it. He's warped in 4 zealots. They can't even join the push now. Bly is also making a drop lord. He's rushed Lair so he can drop Zerglings. He says, kids, get in the minivan. The carpool there, ready to get all of them in there. He's going to drop them in the back of the base. Meanwhile, he's got 2 spines, queens, Zerglings, and he's going to try to go into Roach Speed and Roaches. Roach Speed's so important against this sort of style. If you can get Roach Speed up against Slow Zealot Immortal, it's just game over. Haas is looking for a 3rd base, realizing Bly hasn't taken one. And I think Haas might be in trouble, dude. Okay. All right. He did end up just ferrying the Zealots over. There's still 2 Zealots at home, but the minivan comes in. 8 Zerglings hit the mineral line. And, oh, Haas is in trouble right now. Haas is in trouble. The Zergling's going to overwhelm all of the probes, a whole mineral line. He's going to ferry up. He says, okay, we're going to avoid the tentacles. Bly. Bly's Evo chambering his ramp. Dude, you got to watch out down here, mate. Bly's going for all the fancy defensive maneuvers. Meanwhile, Haas is literally driving into his car park and just setting up shop. Okay, the Zealots are going to try and do their best. I think that's just too much Zerg. And this is Pigstarcraft as Bly gets another point on the board. Perfectly picked build, by the way. Zergling drop, 2 base, Roaches from there. That's the way you do Secret Spring. That there is what pros had to decide grand finals and semi-finals matches on. It was a good map, right? I think you guys agree. All right, we're going to go back into the current ladder pool here. The cleaning bots are, of course, just hanging out, trying to clean up, but there's not many leavings when you've got a bunch of android robots just casually cleaning up the, I guess they're not androids, they're just robots, cleaning up the minerals. In the bottom right, it's Haas. And in the top left of Curious Minds, this is Bly. Now, it looks like it's going to be a little more standard from Bly. Haas, though. It's going to go for the low ground gateway. Okay, for a second I thought he might Nexus first, but this probe's on time to get that gateway down. And he's even going to scout afterwards, so playing a little bit safe. Now, this map actually used to be the fan laboratory map, guys, where there is these fans all over the place, where when your units stand on it, they get shot into the air. So when that was modified to be a more standard map and they removed those zones, there is just a little map on the ladder version, which we're playing right now, here between these fans, which is a no creep zone. Creep cannot spread there. Same on the other side of the map, just here, between this area. So it's not a big deal, doesn't change much, but if you guys see creep just in an empty corridor there, now you know why. Gateway Forge! Oh, I was like, oh wow, Haas is just going for like a normal gate into probe scout. I know Haas better than that. The question is, does Bly? Haas, last time he tried this on Bly did not fall for it. Bly knew what he was doing and pulled extra drones. And you can see Bly's Overlord, he wants to see the moment that probe comes down, and he's already pulled a drone to attack it. It's going to be hard to get that cannon rush off with a drone on your butt. Look at that. Oh, you can see he's trying to get distance. He wants separation between him and the drone. So he turns because he wants that drone to decelerate. Oh, he gets it. He gets it. Can he? Oh, no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't get it. Oh, no. Okay, Haas. Bly, go back there. Bly, yeah, Bly cleverly changes directions. Haas, he's going to have to go. That's not a wall off. Oh, no. Oh, has he juked him? I don't think it matters. It's too late, isn't it? Oh, he's going to go for like the Jadong wall off. Haas looking for a Jadong wall off. Does not find it. And Bly is always expecting this. Always. And he tries to make it look like he's not reacting till later on because he wants to bait Haas into committing to it. And now Haas, 500 minerals, puts a Nexus down at 2 minutes 20. Goes for the Stargate immediately. At least he had the gas mining. This is not the most all-in version of the cannon rush, but it is halted in its tracks, and that's a nice way to start off this game for Bly. So that pylon just hanging out. The Queen will, of course, be steadily killing that. You don't need to prioritize killing it. The Queen will get it eventually. I guess if the Protoss player doesn't build an extra pylon, you could supply block them with it. It's just usually the moment you attack it, they'll rebuild another pylon. Haas does already have that pylon on the way, and the Nexus, I mean, he needs another pylon though, actually. I guess this isn't dying too quickly, so he's all right for now. Adept going across the map. Zerglings wait for the Adept to leave, and then they're going to go in. They're going to go after the Cyber Core. Ooh, but this extra Adept will pop out on the back of the wall. Does he commit the Zerglings? Adept takes a while to kill 6 Zerglings. Ooh, that would be so sick if he got the Cybercore. I don't think he gets it, though. Adept goes in. She's killed one drone. Oh, nice Spore Trick. Doesn't get the second. Bly. Oh, he's doing some very nice micro. He loses 2 drones. But nice Spore Tricks. Does not get the Cybercore. But he damages it heavily. And he's Speedling flooding. Ooh, Bly. This is set up so well. And look, if he just taps that one more time, every time you tap it, it stops regenerating shields until about 10 seconds out of combat. So just by tapping it once, its shields had just started regenerating. It started regenerating. He comes up and he taps it again. And now he's not committing yet. He's waiting for more. But this is not going to break it. He's going to kill the Cybercore before Warp Gate finishes. He's not going to win the game with this. He's got 17 Zerglings. He's trying to lure the Void Ray. He says, hey, Mr. Void Ray, come on over here. And he does lure him out of position. That Cybercore is going down. And it's going to go down pre-Warp Gate. Now, he should be able to wall off if Haas can get another gateway. Oh, no! His probe's on the wrong side. His probe has to run all the way around. He's not going to get the wall in time. He walled himself out with the first gateway, so he couldn't get to the other position. Haas with a big mistake. Apologies for the observing. I get way too excited. The probes are going to hide in the pocket. They're cowering in fear. There's a lot of Zerglings out there. Protect us, Mr. Chadray. The Chadray does puff out his chest, aim his laser beam, and start to spray all over these bloody Zerglings. Meanwhile, Haas already apparently was planning to go for a corner base. So he says, well, I just took a bunch of damage. This doesn't look great. Let's definitely drop a corner base while there's 20 Zerglings inside my main. Okay, why not? Why not? The Zerglings are going to run up into the main base. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Now, I don't think this is game over. I do think it's a massive lead for Bly. But if he doesn't find the corner bases are a big part of making crazy comebacks. Oh, look at this. Haas is going to fake the third. Oh, so once again, so we saw Haas do this earlier on Pride of Altaris. He will drop the Nexus while expanding somewhere else. And this here is a Zergling magnet. He has literally just thrown down a bait. This here is a Psi emitter from the Brood War, the StarCraft 1, sorry, the original StarCraft 1 campaign. He's dropped a Psi emitter on the ground. And just like that, just right on cue, the Zerg come charging on in. The Void Ray will slowly clean those up. But most importantly, he makes Bly think, I've denied your base. Ha ha ha. So this way, it gives Haas an excuse to cancel a Nexus he didn't want to invest in. And he can recall probes to the top right. Now, is he ahead because of that? No, he's still way behind. He took so much damage, guys. He's in a terrible spot. But Bly doesn't understand that there is a third base up. And that's something which means he's going to misread what's happening. He's going to feel more confident, potentially cocky about his situation. But if Bly goes mutas, and yeah, right on clockwork, if he's in a macro game, Bly loves mutas. Occasionally he'll go Broodlords off like roaches or something like that, but almost always mutas. And mutas are a style that should be active enough. I find it hard to believe Haas is going to get this base in the corner to pay off in time, unless he recalls a bunch of probes to it, which he really needs to do sooner rather than later. Still trying very hard to get this base up. And he's going for the double Twilight Council. Oh, it was double Twilight Council. Okay, so guys, he's doing that on purpose so he can make Charge and Glaives at the same time. That's a strategic choice, so he can choose Zealots or Adepts, which are definitely the things he wants right now. It's an accident. It's an accident. He does let, unfortunately, a second Twilight Council finish. Bit of a mistake there for Haas, sadly. And he is going to have a bit of trouble. The Oracle. Ooh, it comes in and sees the Spire. That's kind of good for Haas, even though he does lose the Oracle. The Zerglings being a nuisance. Even just 2 Zerglings. These are not regular Zerglings. They are Bly Zerglings. And they, of course, swore their Zergling oath. And what does Bly make the Zerglings swear? I will be the most annoying Zerglings. I will seek to run around. And when they pull their workers, I will pull off. And then I will re-engage. And then I will run in circles. And then when they come to kill me with fighting units, I shall burrow. And then I shall unburrow. And then I shall kill another worker. And then at that point, my opponent will be pissed off because they know I'm floating 1,000 minerals and not macroing that well, but I'm being an absolutely annoying prick with my APM instead. That is the Zergling oath you have to take before you sign up as a Zergling in the Bly military. And it is actually really frustrating to play against. He micros them just to such an extent. It's very frustrating. Oh no, Haas! Haas loses another Oracle there, too distracted by the roaches. He's got a Pack a Sentry Stalker. He's going Charge and Blink at the same time. Shame on you for saying it was a mistake, Pig. He just clearly needed to get both upgrades at the same time. It's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. It makes no sense. Remind me to ask him after this game, guys. We have access to the players. Remind me to ask him after this game whether he did that on purpose or he was just choosing to take advantage of a mistake and get both at once. The sentry's trying to hang on. Bly, oh, he piles down so many stalkers. Bly is ravenous, and he is running on forwards, just chewing up these Protoss units. There is a base with 9 probes, but Haas never actually properly saturated it. Finally, he recalls all those probes to the top right. He's going to try and defend this ramp. If he could just warp in a sentry or two, that would be good. The Biles are killing some stalkers. This is not something he should be letting happen. I think he needs another sentry or two. Just 1 or 2 force fields could change everything. These Biles in this cramped natural. I've talked a lot about this, how this map has cramped natural. There's just no space in here. It's claustrophobic. Fighting in this natural is absolutely a terrible experience. It's like being trapped in a tight black box, no air, no light, and it is so bloody. Look at this. The Ravagers can barely fit in there. They're doing damage, but they are kind of dying. I think Bly has a good enough economy with the Queens coming in the top. He should be able to overwhelm this. Haas fighting frantically, trying to defend, trying to hang on, trying to survive. But I think even with the probes being pulled in, the Zealot warp in on top of the Ravagers, not going to be enough. He's biling them. He actually biled down Zealots. That's very difficult to land. And does land on the pylon as well. I think that's it. It looks like, okay, he's got this one. Bly with a nice win there to tie up the series 3-3.